Hello, everyone. We're joined today by the new head football coach of the Butler Grizzlies. And Coach, when you were a player here 20-some years ago, did you ever think that you would have your name and head football coach in the same sentence?
No. And to be honest with you, it's probably not something I've thought of until, this kind of happened with Bryce leaving and those kinds of things. It's not something I was striving for or yearning for or anything like that. It's just one of those things that happened, and sometimes opportunities come up in life and you got to just jump on them.
So take us back to that day that Coach Veneri announced that he was taking the job at KU. Maybe that first 24 hours from the time you heard the news, and then maybe some of the process that's happened since then.
Yeah, so at first, obviously, it's kind of a shock and those kinds of things. And then immediately for me, it was, we got to figure out what's best for the players. And so obviously, the stability for them is the most important thing. So whatever I needed to do, whatever role I needed to fill was kind of what I did. And so kind of stepped up just to kind of fill a void that we really needed to. And then after that, it just kind of day-by-day process, and you look at things and what's best for the team, what do the players want to do, where can I fit, and those kinds of things. And like I said, it was a very organic thing that happened, and here we are.
So you were in the very early stages of spring ball when that happened. Now you're finished with spring ball. So talk about how spring ball went with all of the change.
Yeah, I think spring ball went really well. I thought the players, I've already told them, but I can't thank them enough for just kind of jumping behind me and rolling with it. But when you talk about X's and O's, football's football. So having the guys on staff that we have and have been here understand what we're trying to do, both offensively and defensively, I thought practice was really well. Now, when you get me outside of those X's and O's, there's a lot of learning things that I got to figure out and kind of navigate. But again, when the players are doing what they're supposed to and you got a good support staff, it makes it a little easier.
The Grizzly Purple Carpet Awards, the players who were there, they were very vocal that they wanted you to have a chance to be the head coach. What did that mean to you?
Everything. I tell those guys are why I do what I do. They're why I'm so passionate about what I do. They're why I wake up when I do. They're why I work as hard as I do. Those guys are everything, and I push them very hard, and I expect a very high rate of return on what they give me. And so for them to have my back on that and for them to want me to be in charge, it meant everything to me.
You said something that just triggered something in my mind, but you talk about wake up when I do, and it's kind of legendary about the Woody Wakeup routine. What's that like in the morning?
Yeah, so I wake up early. I'm up early, so really early. And, I expect when we have early morning workouts that I'm going to be in there before our guys, and I'm going to have my workout done. And even when they don't have early morning workouts, I'm going to be in there because, that's just the standard. That's what it is for me. When you think about the guys that came before me, especially Coach Bratt, like when you talk about that weight room, it means something. So if I got to wake up a little bit earlier, I'm going to wake up a little bit earlier. But and also it's nice. Early mornings, nobody's awake. You can get a lot of stuff done early in the morning. So I like that too.
Very good. So for those who don't know, take us through your career. You were a standout high school football player in Salina. Talk about your high school career, your decision to come to Butler, your life after Butler, and then coming back here as a coach.
Yeah, so growing up in Salina, when you're just a little guy, it's you're going to win a state championship. That was obviously Coach Marvin Diener, one of the all-time legends in Kansas, was my head coach, and I can remember just from being a little guy when you first go to a Mustang football camp that, hey, we're going to win a state title, and that's all I thought about. And so growing up and doing that, and we came up short a couple times, and then senior year we were able to get it done. And to be honest, I had never really thought about college football. And then, it's one phone call from Tim Schaffner, who was the defensive coordinator here at the time. And I was at a high school game, watching a high school game, and he called and we talked. And I came to Butler and I knew exactly that's where I wanted to be. And then, when you come to Butler, it's, all right, how good can I really be? How far can I take this thing? And I fell in love with the process of that. I fell in love with how the coaches coached, how they handled everything. And then obviously to be voted a team captain here at Butler, win a national title here. It was special. It was really special. And then obviously you go out on my own, and then to be called back in 2015 to come back and coach was really special as well. And then obviously so special that this is where I've been. And I'm not complaining at all because I love this place. I love what that helmet means. I love all the players that have come through, and just so I think that's just something about Butler that when you've gone through it, when you've experienced what it really is, it's special to you forever.
You talk about being an X's and O's guys. But you're somewhat uniquely positioned in the fact that you've coached on both sides of the ball here at Butler. Obviously, I would say you're probably more of a defensive-minded kind of guy, but you were able to coach on the offensive side of the ball. So what has that experience been like being to coach both sides?
Yeah, it's been awesome. It was just kind of something that the team needed. We needed a little bit more stability on the offensive side of the ball, and I was asked to do it. And when you're part of a team, you do what's best for the team. And so it was a great learning experience for me, and just kind of seeing how the offense sees things. And obviously there are two different perspectives when you talk about offense and defense. It is two completely different worlds. So it made me a better defensive coach as well when I came back to defense, just the way you see things, how you want to scheme things, understanding what the offense is trying to do to you and things like that. But again, it goes back to when you're a part of a team, the goal is to win. And whatever you have to do, you have to accept your role and you got to be a part of it. And that's just what that was for a couple of years.
So you're a guy who's played here, who's coached here. You obviously understand the Butler way. This is a program that's coming off of a conference co-championship. How do you lead this program through the summer and get ready for another season?
It's just daily. It's daily process, and we're not going to talk about last year. And honestly, we don't talk much about the past. I think sometimes we can get kind of lost in the history of what Butler is, but we got to focus on the present, and that's day-to-day action. And that's what I harp on these guys all the time, is being consistent in your actions and your choices. And that's what we harp on every day in the weight room. We can have a really good day in the weight room, and the next day, if it's not the same, then they know there's going to be consequences, and that's life. That's life. You got to be able to wake up and go every single day, and you got to have a standard that you're willing to meet, and your choices kind of back that up. And so that's what we're going to be. We are focused on the next year, the next day, the next game, the next play, and whatever happens, happens.
How about the staff? How much of the staff is staying together? Do you have any new additions?
Yeah, so we'll have a couple new additions that we're kind of finalizing right now, but I think the core of the staff will stay the same. We'll kind of see where my role takes me and where guys need to step up and where we have holes, but there'll be some new duties for some guys, but I think the core of the staff will stay together.
All right, Coach, we really appreciate your time, and welcome to being the boss.
Yeah, appreciate that. Thank you.
All right, that's head coach Kyle Woodall, Butler football.